In our modern age of cameras and social media, camping is becoming more and more popular. More and more people every year are finding out that a place with no cameras, no cell phone reception, no one to hear you scream, going camping isn't always such a good experience. Today we're going to be looking at some of the most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera. And if you want to see more scary videos just like this, subscribe to The Scariest right now and drop a like. After days of drifting through the South, living in her van, exhausted and emotionally drained, Christine from Nomad Unknown thought a quiet night camping in the woods would calm her nerves. Instead, the moment she stepped onto the trail, she stepped straight into something far more disturbing. When she arrived at the trailhead parking lot, she noticed a man that gave her an uneasy feeling. He wasn't carrying any gear, just a simple water bottle. But when he noticed Christine getting things out of her car, he abruptly turned around and went back onto the trail. Odd, but she brushed it off. About an hour later, deep into the forest with her pack on, she heard footsteps coming from behind her, quiet enough that she didn't notice until he was nearly right on top of her. She stepped aside to let him pass, and just like before, he was carrying nothing but a water bottle. No pack, no jacket, no explanation for how he ended up behind her again. He gave her a short and flat hi and kept going, but something in his energy felt off. She kept hiking, trying to shake the unsettling feeling, until she saw him a third time, appearing to be loading things into his car as if he was leaving the area soon. She took it as a sign that he'd be gone for good this time, but he wasn't.
The next time I saw him, he was at a crossroads, and it looked like he was loading things into his car to leave. But I guess he was pulling a backpack out, because even though I didn't say anything to him at that point, I literally just got across this bridge that's behind me, and it was filming some of the wild azaleas, and there he came from behind me again, this time with the backpack on, like an overnight backpack. And I said, "Oh, hello again." I might have even filmed that, although I didn't film him. And again, he just said hi. There's nothing concrete that's wrong with any of that, but it's the feeling of it. I mean, if you watch my other videos, I encounter solo men hiking as me, a solo female, all the time. But something about the energy of this particular individual has me on edge a bit. So I was just at the point where I had seen this place and decided I wanted to camp here. And he passed me on the trail, and I was stopped, and I just stood there by the flowers, like filming them. And then I think he was out of sight by the time I came over here, but I haven't set anything up yet. I just set my pack down, and I've just been hanging out, just trying to get a feel for the place and make sure that he's not around anymore. This is probably just paranoia, but one of the ways that I stay safe, the primary way that I stay safe, is by responding to these instincts.
At this point, nothing he'd done was explicitly threatening, but his repeated appearances, his sudden change from no gear to full gear, and the instinctual feeling she got from him let her know that something wasn't right. On paper, his behavior could be written off as harmless, just another hiker crossing paths on a long trail. But when you're deep in the woods with no signal and no one around to hear you call for help, a random man repeatedly appearing out of nowhere is enough to turn a routine encounter into something far more sinister. She eventually found a quiet clearing near the bridge and set her pack down, trying to decide if she even still wanted to camp. She hadn't even unrolled her tent before something else caught her eye. Another clearing across the way, tucked slightly out of view. She walked over to check it out. That's when she saw it.
Over to this area that I was looking across at, you see, there's the bridge, you can see that. And then the backpack's right there. I was thinking I was going to camp over there, but I looked over and I saw this area here, the clearing, and I thought, you know what, that's a bit more hidden from trail, I might feel more comfortable and secure over there, so I came over. Why is there a trail cam pointing to that campsite? I don't really know how those things work. Maybe it's not visible on the camera, but like, what else is it pointing at? Okay. Putting my camera right behind. My backpack is right there. That's where I was gonna camp. Like, that's an established campsite. Looks like this one is too, but what the heck is going on here?
A trail camera hidden in the trees, pointing directly at her campsite. From where her tent would have been, the lens lined up perfectly, an unobstructed view of anyone sleeping there. The path leading to the second campsite was partially blocked by logs and branches, almost like someone didn't want hikers walking in that direction. Between the man who kept appearing behind her, the sudden backpack he hadn't had before, and now a hidden camera trained on her isolated campsite, Christine trusted her instincts and walked away from the campsite altogether. Out here, survival isn't always about what you see. It's about knowing when a situation feels wrong before it turns into something bigger. She grabbed her pack, left the area immediately, and hiked non-stop back towards the trailhead, checking her surroundings the entire way. When she finally reached her car, she got inside, shut the door, and drove away without looking back. Whatever was going on out there, whoever set up that camera, whoever kept circling behind her on the trail, it wasn't worth finding out. The channel called The Facts by howtohunt.com is usually focused on outdoor tips and getting people comfortable with the outdoors. But in January 2002, one of his viewers had sent them some of the most disturbing footage he'd ever seen. In the recording, a group of teenagers are filming themselves camping by the fire at night, when they suddenly hear a series of bizarre noises coming from the forest around them.
Hear it? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light. Fuck. Hey! That was not an elk. Where's that coming from? Get my keys. Oh, get ready. Everybody, get in my truck!
Anyone who spent any amount of time outdoors knows how easily it is to mistake an animal call for something human. Foxes, coyotes, and bobcats all make eerily similar noises to a screaming human. But whatever these teens captured didn't sound anything like any known wildlife. And while some people argue that this clip is staged, it's hard to believe that when the sound closely resembles two other viral Bigfoot recordings that happened in the same area.
It's actually gotten closer since it started. It's probably only 200 feet, 300 feet from me right now. I don't know what it is or what that is going off right there. You can hear it. I mean, I've seen foxes and coyotes around here for a long time, and I'm not sure why, if foxes and coyotes have been around here that long, why we wouldn't have heard them before. And all of a sudden, since November, things have been just going crazy around our community.
People have picked apart these sounds for a long time, yet no one has managed to prove what they are. What makes them even more unsettling is that both clips also closely resemble one of the most famous Bigfoot recordings ever, the famous Sierra Camp tapes.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks.
With that in mind, it's hard to believe that the explanation for this video is simply a man yelling in the woods at midnight. The teens in the clip look genuinely scared, not like they're performing for the camera. And honestly, whatever was making those noises, it's probably for the best that they never ended up meeting it. YouTuber No Egg Craig is known for his lighthearted cooking content, but on October 30th, 2020, he decided to step out of his comfort zone and make a solo camping video. He ended up recording something far more disturbing than he'd ever imagined. He parks off a remote dirt road surrounded by forest and silence, then begins unpacking his camping gear. Everything seems in order until he reaches into his tent and realizes something is wrong. The tent poles are missing. He'd forgot them at home. With no way to set it up, he decides to make do. He lays his air mattress directly on the forest floor, unrolls his sleeping bag, and kicks off his boots. For a while, he just lies there, staring at the sky. It feels peaceful, safe, but that changes the moment night falls.
Hello? Anyone there?
He lets out a shaky breath and decides to keep on cooking, pretending to himself that it's just a harmless animal. After a moment, the noises stop. He finishes making his dinner and sits down to finally eat it. But just as he gets a few bites in, a deep, heavy noise echoes from the tree line. Not a little sound, not a twig, something big, close.
Someone there? It's really weird.
Trying to stay calm, he tells himself that it was probably just a branch falling. He finishes eating and crawls into a sleeping bag for the night. That's when things take a disturbing turn.
Who's there? Hello? Someone there? Okay. That's not.
He wakes up suddenly to another heavy thud, this one much closer. He calls out. A second thud answers from a different direction. Something is moving around him in the dark, slowly, intentionally, encircling him. Terrified, he unzips his sleeping bag, grabs his flashlight, and starts scanning the trees. Shadows shift and branches sway, but he keeps on moving farther into the darkness, searching for the source of the sound. And then the nightmare becomes real.
What the fuck?
A man wearing a mask steps out from behind a tree, walking purposefully towards him from the darkness. Noeg Craig doesn't hesitate. He turns and runs, sprinting blindly through the forest, branches whipping past, his flashlight shaking in his hand. He doesn't stop until he reaches his car, jumps inside, and speeds away, leaving all of his camping gear behind in the woods. Some commenters said it had to be a prank, being the day before Halloween, but others noticed something far more disturbing. In the clip where Noeg Craig crawls into a sleeping bag for the night, his flashlight sweeps across the tree line, and for a split second, something appears. Viewers slowed the footage down and noticed the same man standing in the tree line watching him sleep. Who the masked figure was or what they wanted is still a mystery, but whatever it was, it turned one man's quiet camping vlog into a nightmare. During a trek across Southern Fells, England, Black Craig captured something unexplained on camera. He had chosen this ridge deliberately, drawn by its violent history, a place where soldiers were said to have died during battle, and now being haunted. With only his dog Finn beside him, he pitched a tent and set out along the ridge as the light drained from the sky. His infrared night vision camera swept across the hillside, yet nothing could be seen in the growing darkness. For a while, it felt like just another quiet evening in the wilderness. Then he returned to his tent.
Right, I've switched to night vision mode. Got the infrared on, and I probably look very, very strange, but I can't see anything now. It's kind of weird looking probably in this. There's still quite a bit of light in the sky there, but in terms of on the ground, it's very dark. You can see Finn though. Yeah, so I've not seen anything. I've not seen a single, not even a single soldier. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's okay. I think I'm going to head back to the tent now and settle down, get a little bit of kip, hopefully not get woken up in the night. I think it's going to be a very early start in the morning because it's going to get very light soon. Oh, not long at all. What the hell? There's a bloke stood next to my tent. What the f? has absolutely scared the out of me. I'm not kidding you. I was walking down there, coming back towards the tent, talking to you guys. I'm telling you right now, there was somebody stood right here. Oh, I'm not kidding you, the hairs on my arms are stood up. My skin is crawling. Right there. Finn's just oblivious to me. Right, there's no way I'm staying here tonight. No way.
Standing by his shelter, close enough for it to reach out and touch him, was a tall, pitch-black figure. The moment was captured on his night vision camera. He tried to brush it off, convincing himself that it was his nerves playing tricks on him, and forced himself inside of his tent for the night. But he didn't sleep. Not really. He lay there listening, certain that whatever was outside was still there.
Okay, we're in the tent. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the hell I saw then. I don't know whether I saw. Maybe it might have been my imagination now. Honestly, I don't know. But flipping heck, that really spooked me. Really, really spooked me. I'm just gonna try and get a bit of kip and see how we get on. Finn's down. Honestly, I don't think I'll get any kip at all. I'll be just paranoid all night. I mean, there's still quite a lot of light outside. And, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just saying this. There's still quite a lot of light outside. And I'm just half expecting a silhouette to go past. I'm just hearing loads of noises. And I know you hear loads of noises anyway when you're in the tent, because the tent's flapping, there's bits of grass against it, and there's all sorts of weirdness, but I'm completely spooked.
But the most terrifying part came months later. Only after uploading his video did he get a chance to look at the footage. There it was, a shadow figure crouched beside his tent, motionless, towering, impossibly dark, a shape that didn't match any tree, any rock nearby. Horrified, he immediately returned to Southern Fell, determined to prove it wasn't just something natural he misunderstood. He found nothing, no boulder shaped like that, no tree stump, nothing that could cast a figure like the one captured on camera. To this day, Black Craig still can't explain the figure that was standing next to his tent, and neither can I. It's Omega is a YouTuber known for pushing himself into strange and isolated places, who decided to take on one of his hardest challenges yet, spending an entire night alone inside an abandoned train tunnel. Just him, his dog Max, and nearly a mile of absolute darkness. No reception, no backup, no escape if something went wrong. The moment he arrives, the fear sets in. Armed with a giant flashlight and a chain leash for Max, he walks into Spooner's tunnel, its interior so deep it swallows the light. Inside, he picks an old stone manhole as his campsite, one of the cramped alcoves workers used to use to dodge oncoming trains. Now it's just him and Max sitting in it, surrounded by darkness and concrete. As the night deepens, the tunnel becomes a different world. The cold cuts in like a knife. Any tiny noise echoes for what feels like miles. He cooks dinner on a small gas stove with Max sitting right beside him. For a moment, it almost feels normal, until the stove turns off and the silence slams back down on him. To stay sane, he takes out his phone and starts grinding away on mobile games. Anything to distract himself from the weight of the darkness around him. But every few seconds, he hears something. Each sound forces him to look up, sweeping the tunnel with his flashlight, just to make sure nothing or no one has stepped inside.
Whoa, look at that. It's 1:20 a.m. See, you can't fake that stuff. I've been in this tunnel all night, and I'm sick of. I've gone through so much. I've had my heckles up all night. I've been hearing noises in the tunnel. I've been hearing all sorts of things. I feel like I'm going a little bit crazy at this point. Max, where are you? Come here. We're getting to the stage where I'm getting extremely tired, but we're gonna keep pushing. And we'll do a walk through the tunnel soon. It's like the eerie silence is just getting to me at this point, and I'm hearing things left, right and centre, trust me. Maybe we can wander down a bit of the way to see what we may find, who knows.
Hours pass as he camps inside the tunnel with his dog. At 2 a.m., he forces himself to explore farther. Then, around 4 a.m., something truly terrifying happens. A faint, happy birthday melody starts playing from somewhere inside the tunnel. He cautiously follows the sound, scanning the sides of the tunnel. Then, he finds it. A small toy lying on the tunnel floor. But then, the truly disturbing part happens.
What the actual? Can you guys hear that? Max, where is it? I don't know if you guys can hear this on the camera, but there's something. What is that? What the? Hello? What is that? Max, what is that? Hello? Is there somebody here? That's just creepy as... What the hell? Is anyone here? What is that? Oh! Max! Hurry up! Max!
Standing in the stone opening is a tall, motionless figure, watching him, a silhouette in the darkness where no person should be. He grabs his dog and runs, sprinting back down the tunnel, away from the figure in the toy still chiming in the background. Whether it was a sick prank or something far more unsettling, no one can say for sure. Some viewers believe it may have been a stranger living somewhere near the tunnel, trying to scare Omega away. But whatever the truth is, that encounter was enough to push him out of the tunnel for the rest of the night. He waited in the cold until sunrise before he forced himself back in the tunnel to collect his gear. Luckily, he made it out unharmed. But this is without a doubt one of the scariest camping encounters I've ever seen.